Riley J. Dennis is a self-described transgendered intersectional lesbian feminist. Say that 5 times fast. I'll shorten it up for you if you don't understand what that means. It means that Riley, born Justin, is a man who thinks he's a woman who's into girls. I thought I'd seen it all from this cringeworthy YouTuber, but I was wrong. Dead wrong. In this 8-minute video, Riley, who has a bachelor's degree in SJW BS from the University of Tumblr, tries to explain that sex is not a real thing. Instead, it's a social construct.
I would argue that sex needs to go through the same change that gender has already gone through. It's not a static fact, it's a social construct.
What Riley is doing is neglecting a few facts. We are not biologically male because a doctor says we are. We are biologically male because our genetic makeup says we are. That's called science.
Unless your doctor suspects that something might be wrong with your chromosomes, you'll probably never have them tested in your life, and you certainly can't tell a person's chromosomes by looking at them.
I thought this was a settled thing, much like gravity and the Earth revolving around the sun, but I guess that's not the case. In this video, again, Riley tries to make the argument that we don't really know what sex we are, because most people don't know what their chromosomes are. And that's an easy fix. I would ask that Riley submit himself for a test of his chromosomes. If results come back that he is genetically intersex, or hell, even female, then that settles it. Game over. He wins. Or she wins. Or whatever. However, something tells me that's not going to happen. The fact is that the odds are not in his favor, and he won't do this. Why? Because that challenges the narrative that he's trying to push. And as Ben Shapiro says,
facts don't care about your feelings, as I'm fond of saying, and neither do I, so.
Here's the truth of the matter. Much like Riley, when I went through puberty, just like all other genetic males, our chromosomes and SRY gene onset started the hormonal process that caused our voices to change, facial hair to grow, and testes to drop. As I grew older, this allowed me to reproduce, and now I'm a father. Because science.
Yes, science!
Transgendered individuals can reproduce, but only within the natural and biological sex that they were born with. Notice that I'm saying sex, not gender. You can identify as an attack helicopter, but it doesn't change anything when it comes to biological sex. Again, not because of bigotry or social constructs, but because of science. Just looking at Riley, you can see that he's demonstrating a secondary sexual trait in terms of his Adam's apple, which is prominent in males.
Well, how did you know that she was a man?
Because her hands were as big as Andre the Giant's, and she had an Adam's apple as big as her balls.
Now, given the fact that Riley is a self-identified trans woman, meaning transitioning from one to another, and the fact that the odds are not in his favor to be intersex, that leaves 2 other options. So I'm willing to bet all the money in my pocket against all of the money in his purse. That means that Riley was not born with a vagina. And a vagina is necessary along with a cervix, uterus, fallopian tube, and ovaries for a woman to reproduce. Riley has none of these things, and without them cannot reproduce as a biological female. Why? Because he was born biologically male, and men are born without any of these things. Whether he wishes to acknowledge this fact or not does not change reality. The purpose of a person's sex is not to choose what to wear or what movie to watch. Its sole purpose and reason for existence is reproduction. This is a classic case of changing the meaning of a word to fit a narrative. And the problem with Riley and other SJWs on the left is that they can't accept reality, which, as I have said many times before, is why more than likely they're leftist retards to begin with.